everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Lydia. If you're new here, I have been on my keto weight loss journey for exactly 2 years. I have started this journey at my heaviest weight of 265 pounds. I'm 5'2.5". I'm 5'2.5", and I carried 265 pounds on my body, and I was on a quest to feel better, to get healthier, and to change my life. Not knowing if I would succeed or not, I had tried keto once. Since I had done Atkins many years ago and was successful, I felt that keto was very similar to Atkins. So I was like, well, I think I can do this, because in the past I was able to give up carbs and I lost a lot of weight and I felt great. So I think I can do this again. So when I tried keto, not fully understanding what the difference was in the beginning, and I'm still kind of shaky, but I did things a little bit different. Obviously, when you do all of your research on keto, you hear a lot that keto is high fat, moderate protein. So when I started my keto, I did a lot of high fat. Like, I was doing bulletproof coffees. I was doing ribeyes cooked in butter. I was doing cheesy, creamy, side casserole dishes made with cream cheese, full fat, all of those great things. I started keto and I lost 30 pounds within the first 3 months. And I was like, what? This is working. I'm on my way. I was down to like 230 something. And I was like, okay, this is working. Then I decided to have a cheat day. And that cheat day was on a weekend, which then obviously turned into a cheat weekend. And I ate all the things non-keto, 100% off keto, 1,000 million %. I was eating pizza and pasta. Like, I basically was waiting the entire week to just go headfirst into all the things I felt I wasn't allowed to eat while on keto. Well, that weekend was really hard to stop once I started cheating. And so that weekend turned into a week and turned into a month. And the next thing you know, 3 months later, I had not gotten back on keto, and I had gained 25 of the 30 pounds that I had lost. So I just chalked it up to, okay, I guess keto doesn't work for me. I guess, I'll have to try something else. I don't know what, because I've literally tried every single diet known to man. I've been on Weight Watchers and Jenny Craig and Nutrisystem. I've done the cabbage soup diet. I've gone vegan. I have gone carnivore. Like, I've literally tried every possible thing to lose weight. And I just find myself getting bigger and getting bigger and getting bigger. So I don't know if it's diet culture. I don't know if it's damaging my system. I mean, I even did the master cleanse a few times in my youth. The master cleanse, if you're not familiar, is when you have absolutely no food and you drink this lemonade concoction of maple syrup, cayenne pepper, lemon juice, and that's all you have, no food, for usually 10 days. I would do that, lose 10 to 15 pounds, and of course, the moment you start eating, you're gaining everything back, plus your metabolism has been strained. And so it was a vicious cycle, because then I would gain those 15 pounds back, and then I would do it again, but this time even longer, and I would push it for 2 weeks. Or, I think one time I might have attempted a month. I don't think I did a month, but maybe like 2 weeks, which was a lot, of time of absolutely no food or nutrition in your body. So I have done some things in a desperate attempt to get down into a healthy weight. Not saying that that was good, obviously. That was probably not the smartest decision, but when you feel like you have no control over your weight and it just keeps getting higher and higher and higher, then you try drastic measures, and I finally, when I had left that part of my life and got married, had kids, did all that, I started to feel like I lost control again. My body started to just change, and I started gaining weight and gaining weight and gaining weight and gaining weight. So this was a moment where I was ready to do something about it, and I had heard about keto. My brother-in-law was actually doing it, and he looked fantastic. Like, I had seen him one day, and then I saw him again the next, and he just looked completely different. I was like, what are you doing? He's like, oh my God, I'm doing keto. This is what it is. Maybe he didn't sound like that, but he was telling me what it is, and I was like, all right, I'm going to do whatever it is you're doing because you look great. So I started researching researching it and figuring out the similarities between keto and Atkins, or the low carb diet that I was doing in my youth. So, all right, so I started off my weight loss. Let me just break down my monthly weight losses for you, because I started keto again. I guess I forgot to tell you that part. I started keto again, decided to jump back on the wagon, and this time really stick to it. This time I knew I couldn't have cheat days. Cheat days were my Achilles heel. That was where I was going to fall out and screw up everything. So if I wanted to be successful, I had to stay the course. And so that was what I did differently this time around. So that being said, I will walk you through the weights that I've lost while on my keto weight loss journey. So on month 1, I lost 13 pounds. Now, remember, I had started at 265, I had lost the 35, I had gained the 30 back. So when I had started again the second time on keto, my starting weight was 260.8. So it wasn't the 265. That's my all-time high. But 260 was when this 2-year journey had begun. So 260 was my starting weight. After month 1 of being on keto, it went down 13 pounds. Then month 2, 5.8, then 7.6, then 6.8, then 6.2, then 5.8. So I was pulling pretty good numbers. The following month was 5.6. It was pretty consistent numbers, between 5 to 6 pounds every month for the first 6 months. Yeah, for about 6 or 7 months, pulling consistent numbers. So I was really excited. And then I got 1 month where it was a 0.6, and I was like, oh, okay, what happened? And I was getting a little nervous, like, oh, is this gonna be now the new norm? But the following month, went back up to 5.2, lost another 4.2. Then I started to slow down a bit, and this is where it started to get my smaller numbers. But mind you, it'd been almost a year now, so now my year of losing weight started to go from 5 to 6 pounds average a month to now 2.6, 1.2. I did pull another 4-pound loss, then another 5-pound loss, then another 4-pound loss, and then the first time I ever experienced a gain on this journey. I had gained in November, so that means after the month of October, between middle of October to November, I gained 2.6 pounds. I got really nervous. I was like, oh my God, you're not supposed to be gaining weight. What are you doing? But then the following month, I lost 8.2. So this is example, this is a lesson learned, that if you're on your own weight loss journey and you see a month or 2 of numbers going up, it doesn't mean that that's the trend. You're not always going to be gaining weight. Maybe your body just needs to kind of adjust and settle. And that's what my body did. I had gained 2.6, but I went back down to 8.2 pounds lost the following month. And then I gained another 2.8, and that was after the holidays, so I gave myself that. I was still keto. I still didn't cheat. I was really good and strict. Not strict. There were moments where I had dirty keto, and we'll get into that. But as far as not allowing myself to have a cheat day, to just come off and eat all the pastries and sugar that I could possibly have, I didn't have a moment like that whatsoever on my 2-year journey. So let me just put that in there. Then in February, I lost 4 pounds, then 2 pounds, then 3.8 pounds. And now for the past 3 months, I had lost 1.8 pounds between April and May of this year. Then my birthday month happened, and this is where I stopped counting and tracking, and I started living my best life, and I was eating more and having more keto treats and all of that stuff. So I gained 5 pounds. Yeah, that's the biggest gain I've had in 1 month on this journey, and that happened to be last month's weigh-in. So last month I weighed in at 179.4, and now this month I weighed in this morning at exactly my 2-year anniversary, ketoversary, and I weigh 177.8. So I lost 1.6 pounds from last month. Now, mind you, it's not my lightest, because I want to say in my May weigh-in, I was 174.4. So I'm still 3 pounds heavier than I was in May. And in April, when I weighed in, I was 176.2. So I'm still a pound 0.2 higher than I was in April, but I am less than I was in my March weigh-in. My March weigh-in, I was 180, and I'm 177.8 today. You know, it's been a rough couple of months. If you've been watching any of my videos, you know that I've been on the struggle bus for a bit. And trying to figure out my way. So when I started keto, I just was eating the foods that I thought I was supposed to eat. Did more research, found another group of people that were doing strict keto. They were counting and weighing and measuring and really following macros. Macros is really hard for me to understand especially when you're not tracking. I wasn't tracking, so I'm like, how do I know if I'm eating enough protein and fat and carbs? So that's when I started tracking. I hated tracking with every fiber of my body. It didn't feel like it was something that I could do for the rest of my life. I didn't want to measure out 2 tablespoons of half and half in my coffee or heavy cream in my coffee. I didn't want to have to get out a scale and go, how many ounces of chicken am I eating tonight? I just didn't want to do it. I felt like I was being forced to do it. And so I kind of had this attitude of, I can't believe I have to do this. Well, So I did weighing and measuring and tracking of my food starting at the beginning of this year in January. So that's when I started to see again 4 to 3.8 pounds and then 1.8. And then when my numbers started to slow down like that, when I started to get a 1.8 is when I'm going, well, then why did I waste this entire month tracking and weighing and measuring everything? I only lost 1.8. Give me an excuse to stop doing it. And that's exactly what had happened when I started working out. Like I worked out in January and February. So in January through February, I had lost 4 pounds, but then I was still consistently working out. And then the following month, I only lost 2. And again, it was that mindset of, I feel like I'm sacrificing and restricting all the things. I'm going to the gym so many times and I'm not allowing myself to have what everybody else is having when we're at a food gathering. And why am I doing all this sacrifice for nothing? So I'm just going to stop the gym. It's obviously not helping. And again, it was me talking myself into decisions that I didn't even really want to do. I didn't really want to work out. I was making myself work out because hopefully that would give me a better number on the scale. And so, that scale kind of ruled my life a lot of the time. Not the entire journey, but a lot of if the scale didn't cooperate with all of my efforts that I did that month, then I was throwing my hands up in the air and saying, forget it. Either I'm not going to weigh myself anymore, or I'm just going to eat the things that I feel like I'm restricting myself from. And that was the biggest thing. It's a mental thing. I talk about that in other videos as well, that it is a mindset. It is a mental outlook on things. And if you feel like you're being restricted, then you're going to want to cheat. Then you're going to feel like you're punishing yourself. And it shouldn't be like that. Like your journey, your weight loss journey shouldn't be punishing you for all of your past sins. Just because you indulged in chocolate cake a few times doesn't mean that you have to punish yourself either by not allowing yourself certain things or by making yourself work out. And I felt like that. I felt like, well, this is what I have to do if I'm going to, and it's really a mindset. So if you look at it differently, like I'm doing something good for my body. I feel good when I work out. I felt great when I worked out. I hated putting my shoes on and making the decision to go, but every time I went to the gym, I felt great. So I kind of am kicking myself that I stopped working out so much. There's a lot of people in the keto world that believe in only clean, strict keto. They don't like doing lazy and dirty. I did lazy and dirty in the beginning because that was easy for me to kind of figure things out, how to ease back into something like this. And then once I was in my groove of not eating carbs, not really craving carbs, then I started to clean things up. I started looking at the ingredients, starting to make sure that I don't have certain oils and trying to get the cleanest or the best possible products. Then I kind of made myself a little bit crazy that way. And I was reading labels and I wasn't allowing myself anything. And then I was going to expensive grocery stores and only buying this type of mayo or this type of ketchup or this type of something. And I wouldn't allow myself to have the breads or the keto treats or anything like that. And then now where I am today. I feel like I am in a good balance now after I'm off my birthday week, month, summer. My birthday summer, it feels like. You know what I found myself doing this week is I find myself weighing and measuring, even though I didn't say I was going to weigh and measure. And I was like, well, that's so weird, that because I'm out of curiosity, I'm going, how much did I eat today? Let me see how much my calories are coming out today. And I find myself, if I'm going higher than I should, then I do stop myself. Ignorance is bliss. When I'm not weighing and measuring, it doesn't matter how many calories I'm eating. Eat it all. Nobody's counting. Nobody's checking. But when you're checking and you're making yourself check, then that's that feel of, oh, you know, I'm supposed to eat only 1,200 calories a day, so I can't have that, and I really want that, but I can't have that. It doesn't fit in my day, and it starts to make you miserable. This week, when I started just kind of organically weighing and measuring, it was less stress because I didn't say I was going to do it. I wasn't doing a week or a video on it. I was just kind of curious, and how much am I having today? And I find myself more sane that way when it comes to weighing and measuring. So that's where we are. I did my measurements. Let me tell you my measurements. All right, so I measured myself compared to last month. And, you know, there were a lot of the sames because I did only lose 1.6 pounds. So I wasn't expecting a huge flush of inches lost in any area of my body. But I noticed that I did go down 3/4 of an inch off my waist, my high waist, which was a nice surprise. A lot of my numbers were 0, evened out, no losses. A couple of like 1/4 inch loss here and there. And then I had gone up around my belly button, which I thought that was weird because I went down on my waist, but I went up on my belly button. So it could be that the shorts that I'm wearing might be doing something funny with my measurements. But all in all, I've lost or gained 0 inches this month. I will take it because last month I had a gain of almost an inch overall. So 0 from last. I mean, I'm still trying to get my numbers back. I mean, my lowest that I had hit was 172. I'm 5 pounds heavier than that. So at least it's not 10 or 20. At least I'm only 5 pounds away, but I do want to get back down into that area again and then hopefully down to 165, which is my goal, to lose 100 pounds. And I'm not there yet. So right now, my grand total of pounds lost is 87.2 pounds. You know, I wish it was 90. I wish it was 100. I wish it was more, obviously. But I will take 87.2 because what I didn't want was to slowly, gradually go back up and then shrink that number. So I went up. I had a fleeting moment of summertime where I was going up, and now I feel like I'm on the downward trend again. So hopefully next month's weigh-in and measuring, I'm going lower and I'm going lower. So make sure you have subscribed and you are following this journey to see me reach my goal weight. Any tips, any words of encouragement, I always welcome. Post it in the comments below. And that's it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.